I don't think people understand how difficult it is to do what you guys did today. The number 6 team in the country comes in here and they are throwing every haymaker they have at you, but you still come out of here with the win. Bryce, maybe we start with you. How'd you do it?
We never quit. I say we a deep team, so whoever come off the bench is just as good as the starters. And coaches preach to us, never give up, never give up. In these last 2 games, we don't even gave the games up. So today we were just tired of it, really.
So a pretty clear message of persistence there. Cade, what was the most important thing today?
I think we did a really good job on their guard play. I think we kind of kept their guards out of rhythm. And kind of made them, we played a lot of small ball. McCormick had a really good night, but that's a lot of tools. So, I think we did a really good job on the guards when we came over.
Obviously a season is a long season. Everybody is tough. There's no gimme wins in the Big 12, but you now have wins over Texas Tech and Kansas. What does it say about the ceiling for this team, about how high this team could go? Bryce, maybe we start with you.
I just feel like we're still a young team, but we got to mature at some point, I just feel like we got a lot of dogs. Nobody wants to lose. We need to go take the win, Nobody's going to give it to us. So I just feel like if we can get this home court advantage under control, we can go wherever we want to go.
Cade, is this why you go to college? Is it games like this? Is it moments like this?
Definitely. I think that's, a even bigger reason why we came to the Big 12. Because the Big 12 is full of, top teams that are going to make you work for every win. There's hardly any games in the Big 12 that aren't decided by 1 or 2 possessions. So, we knew that coming in. We knew that we were going to make our runs. We knew that they were going to make theirs. And we took their hits and kept playing.
All right, members of the media, if you have questions for Oklahoma State's Bryce Williams and Cade Cunningham, please click raise hand and we'll try and get to everybody. We just ask that you please address the question to whoever you want to answer. Our first question is to come from Jacob Unruh from the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Hey, Cade and Bryce, this is really for both of you. Can each of you walk us through that go-ahead play, the block by Cade and the save to Bryce, the rondelle? Can you each walk kind of through what you saw in that play?
Just great anticipation by all of us. Cade really could have let the ball go out of bounds. We could have been playing another inbound play, but he knew where we were. He looked before he even got it out of his hand. Just a hustle play all around, really.
Yeah, I don't know who was on the ball, but whoever it was, did a good job keeping who was it? Oh,
it was Avery.
Garrett shot the layup. He did a good job keeping Garrett in front of him and, allowed me to be backside. And I got a good block. Quad, threw it out. Made sure I knew who was wearing the court. One kid got the catch. And he had his head up too. And made a good leading pass to Rondell, and he made a tough finish. So, yeah, I think, everybody was just looking for each other. We all wanted to win, so we relied on each other.
How much were these, and either one of you can answer this, how much were the 2 losses to TCU and West Virginia hanging over you guys the last few weeks, knowing you guys were so close to those?
Both those games were one-possession games that, we were up at half and playing really well, but I think we just got too comfortable, towards the end. So, I think the difference with this game is, we had, already took those 2 L's and learned from them, had tough practices after them. And, we came in and told ourselves we were going to play for 40 minutes. We did
that. Cade, you scored 14 points in that first half. Saturday, you only shot the ball 3 times. Was this more of a conscious effort to go out and kind of attack more?
I knew I had to attack. Kansas State, I wasn't, feeling my best, but, this game, I knew my team was going to allow me to, be aggressive and things like that, and that's what I did.
Yeah, scoring is not his only suit.
Oh yeah, no. Mm-hmm.
That's the least about trying to do. He's going to make the play that he's going to go for it.
Awesome, appreciate it, fellas.
Everybody needs to get them a teammate like Bryce Williams right there.
Yeah, he's definitely.
I hear you. All right. Our next question is going to come from Frank Bonner of the Tulsa World. Go ahead, Frank.
Hey, Bryce, this is the second time you've been able to get your hands on a steal in a late situation. You did the same thing against Texas Tech. What is it about those situations that, allow you to find yourself in the right place?
I just try to anticipate, and I just try to find who's hot on their team. I just try to look at the little things. We played the 3-point line. Coach said if they're in the paint, don't guard it. So I stayed on the 3-point line, and the only person that was on the 3-point line was Brian. So we had to throw the ball to him. So I just try to make a play without fouling or anything like that.
And then at what point on that last play did you decide you were going to do that bounce alley hoop to yourself?
Miles Garrett lifted the ball, really. That's really it. And
I'm talking about
what you talking about?
dunk.
The mill?
Yeah.
The
The last dunk when you got the steal.
What was your question?
I said,
When I got past half court.
and this one is for you, Cade, or I guess for both of you guys. When Kansas took that lead after you guys, had that 16-point lead, what was the conversation? Like what was the team conversation in that moment where KU took that lead?
We just kept saying we had been there before. We knew that, that giving credit to Kansas, they're one of the top teams in the country for a reason. We knew that they were going to make their runs. We knew that they were going to make shots and get stops and things like that. So, you can't hang your head whenever they do that. That's what they're supposed to do. They're human too. They're not going to, lay down for anybody. So, staying poised throughout those situations and staying together. I think that's the best thing to do. Not pointing any fingers at your teammate and, stay together.
I appreciate you.
Our next question is going to come from Marshall Scott from Pistols Firing. Go ahead, Marshall.
Yeah, this first one's for either of you. Kind of builds off of what Frank just asked, but those last few possessions, you guys were diving all over the floor. What were kind of the conversations like in the huddles? Was that something that like a conscious effort, like, hey, we got to get on the ground. We really need this because this can't happen again.
We got a stat called 50-50 ball, and we want to win every 50-50 ball. We want to be the first on the ground. If they're the first on the ground, coach is gonna pull you out. It's like we just try to show that we're tougher. We're the dogs. We need this. We want this. We got to take this. That's what we did.
And then, Cade, for you, obviously a big point in that game was Isaac's 3-pointer there in the corner. His shooting has been questioned his first few years here. Just what does it mean that he was, A, confident enough to take that shot, and then B, that he hit it?
Yeah, I mean, Ice makes big time shots. He's a big time player. And I think the only thing with his shot has just been his confidence. I think, when he's confident, he's shooting. You can ask guys in practice, he's gonna knock it down. So, you can tell it almost felt like he kind of rolled it in his hand before he shot it, like he knew he was gonna shoot it. So, seeing him being confident, and this year he's made, strides in his jump shot. He's been letting them fly, with confidence, and they've been going down. So, I really can't get my words, but I'm kind of lit. We just won for real. So.
All right, and then the last thing for you then, Cade. I don't know if we'll get to talk to you now before Saturday, but obviously Bedlam game, your first Bedlam game, probably one of only 2 that you'll play in. What do you know about the rivalry? What do you anticipate? Has anybody kind of briefed you on that yet?
Yeah, I know it's personal for not only the team, but for the city of Stillwater County. Nobody wants to lose to Oklahoma. And so we're gonna prepare for that game. We're gonna get our minds right for it, and we're gonna try to go put on for the city.
Thanks, guys.
Our next question is going to come from Chris Becker from the O'Colly. Go ahead, Chris.
Hey, my question for Cade. Cade, there at the end of the first half, kind of, Avery had those 2 big defensive possessions where he drew that 5-second call and then almost drew another one. Kind of, what was your going through your mind when you saw him do that, and kind of how'd that line up spark in your team?
He does that every day. He makes everybody work. You'll see him picking guys up 94 feet in practice every day. He don't really take any days off. And I think having guys like Avery who, so big on outworking everybody, just being that spark for the team. He knew that's what we needed to see. And we wanted to see a spark on the defensive end. He gave that to us.
Thanks, guys.
Our next question is going to come from Jacob Unruh of the Oklahoman. Go ahead, Jacob.
Bryce, I think you touched on this a little bit earlier, but how much, you being a veteran and you've seen teams, how much has this team kind of grown up the last few weeks in Big 12 play?
I think we're growing up tremendously in practice and on the court. Like I said, we're a young team. All the losses we had, I think it's at the end of the game, like literally the end of the game where the other team makes a run and we just give in kind of. Today we just said we're gonna stop it. And even if we're young, we're gonna mature out today and mature out the rest of the season.
How proud does that make you to see these guys come along like they have?
Very proud. I see it every day in practice. Like we're getting better every day, literally. If we're not pushing ourselves to get better, Coach Mike gonna make sure we're pushing ourselves to get better.
And what do you think of the defense tonight?
I think we took ourselves out some plays, but when we needed to stop, we got to stop. When we needed to dive on the ground, we dived on the ground. And the ending showed for itself.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
All right, that'll do it for questions. Cade, I'm going to have you take us home. Your message to Oklahoma State fans tonight.
This is a big time win for us. Something that, we're definitely going to take that confidence and put it in through the rest of the conference play. But I'm not trying to, get overly excited on this win just because, this is something that, we keep saying new era. This is something that, we're trying to plan on doing in the future more consistently. And have this be, who we are. This is our new identity. So we let a couple slip early on in the season in conference play, but this is what our identity is trying to be.